Hi, good morning. Okay, now everything looks normal this time. All right, good morning. Good morning. I can't not say good morning. I always go in the morning. So good afternoon. Welcome to Rhythms of Grace. My name is Elizabeth Sandifer, and it's good to be with you this afternoon and sharing with you on Fridays. I'm the Friday contributor for Rhythms of Grace for Nature Coast Church. So I'm happy to be here and share a little bit about grace this afternoon. And I just had a short video on there and I hit delete really quick because everything looks sideways on my screen. Going live is really hard. I just want to say it doesn't get any easier. My fingers still shake when I hit start. So anyhow, okay, so I'm going to go ahead this morning. I want to read a verse to you from the Bible from 2 Corinthians. I came across this verse a little over a month ago. It was like on a Facebook post when I first saw it, when I first came across it. And there were 3 words in this verse when I first saw it on Facebook that kind of caught me and drew me back into the Bible to read it like over and over again. So I want to share with you those words. I'm going to read it first and then talk about it with you, what I got as I came back to this verse again and again over the last month, and share with you why I think it's a really great encouragement. It has been for me, and I hope that it is for you too. So I'll read it to you first, and this is found in 2 Corinthians, and this is chapter 4. And this is first of all, I'm just going to read the verse I saw on Facebook, but I'm going to add a few more in just a little bit to you as I talk about it. So this is verse 14, and this is what I'd come across a month ago. And verse 14 says, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Therefore we do not lose heart." That's that first line again. So those were the words that I came across. And it was the 3 words that really caught me about a month ago. And the 3 words were, do not lose heart. Of course, that's 4 words, but it was don't lose heart, was the way it was posted on Facebook. Don't lose heart. And those words caught me because I had already lost heart. That's how I was feeling when I read those. I had lost heart. And here I was reading something in the Bible that said, don't lose heart. And so I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you ever been there? Have you ever felt like you've lost heart? And, what does that feel like? What does that look like to you? What does it look like when we lose heart? I know that for me, if I were to describe to you, and maybe if you were to think about how you feel when you lose heart, maybe you would describe it differently than me, but I want to share with you how I would describe it if we lose heart. Because I believe our heart is where our passions come from. It's where the things that we do, the things that we share, it comes from our heart. The ability to love and to care and to give of ourselves, it comes from our heart. When we take time, the ability to really feel fully alive, that comes from our heart. It's when we're most ourselves, when we have this fullness of heart. We're most ourselves. We don't have to wear a mask. We don't have to be, we don't have to wish we were different. We don't have to wish we had different abilities or be frustrated with ourselves for maybe wishing we were like someone else or displeased with how we are, how God created us to be. And so I believe that when we lose heart, we start to see those things in ourselves and we start to pull back and withdraw that joy and that love and that ability to give and to be present. And to share and to have our passions kind of come to the surface. And so that's kind of what it feels like to me if we lose heart. We kind of settle into those things that I described. Now, if I sat down with you and if you were to ask me, what is it that makes you lose heart? I would probably be able to articulate to you what my circumstances are, like what those things are that makes me lose heart. I could probably easily, most likely, sit down and share with you these things in my life, these situations and circumstances that cause me to lose heart. And maybe you would be able to share yours with me too. Maybe we'd be able to share that with each other. And this is why when I came across that verse on Facebook, when I saw, therefore we do not lose heart, at first, because at first the way that really felt was sort of like a gray cloud, kind of like a gray cloudy sky. Well, I had lost heart, and here the Bible's telling me don't lose heart. Well, I had. So in a way it makes you want to close the book, put it on a shelf and think, well, I had, so let me just put that away. But I was only looking at part of the sentence. And there's a word, it's a very common word there at the beginning, and that word is therefore. And that word, I want to talk about that word for a few minutes, but that word felt like, as I kind of came back to my Bible to read it over this last month, it wasn't one time, it was several times over the last month, that word therefore sort of became like a beacon of light. It became like if you think of a lighthouse and its purpose in those gray clouds and those cloudy skies where you can't see real clearly. It's sort of like a beacon of light. It just goes around, 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 and it's pulling you back. And that's what I felt like the word therefore became. The word therefore was pulling me back into go deeper into the Bible, to pull me back more into the word, and the word is Jesus. And so and I don't believe it was about me like having to read necessarily more, but it was pulling me back to reveal Jesus, to read more, to reveal Jesus himself in the word. It's like this beacon, this word therefore was telling me, come find Jesus, come find him here, come see why, because that's what therefore means. It means like, because of this, don't lose heart. It's like the word was transformed to me. So therefore we do not lose heart. It's saying, because of this, we don't lose heart. Because of this Jesus, we don't lose heart. Because of this Jesus, come find him, we don't lose heart. And it pulled me in to see, well, why? Because I don't think I realized that was the question my heart had been asking. That yes, I'd lost heart, but I don't think I realized the question my heart was asking was, where's Jesus? Where is he? And here was the word pulling me back with this very simple word, therefore, that we can very, I think, easily overlook when we read. And it was all in that one word right there. I believe our hearts are always looking for Jesus. And I believe when we go back to the Bible and back to the word, it's going to pull us in there to find him, because of course he's always pursuing us and we're always looking for him. So therefore, so it caused me to go back and to read above. And so I want to read a verse to you above. So I'm going to go to verse 14. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm going to go to verse 14, and let me read verse 14 for you. So it says, okay, so therefore we do not lose heart. Because of this, we do not lose heart, because we know that the one who raised the Lord Jesus from the dead will also raise us with Jesus, present us with you in his presence. And let me just stop there for a second, because what is that talking about? It's talking about resurrection. All of those things that make us lose heart, whatever you would have sat down and shared with me about when you lose heart, and whatever I would have shared with you about why I lose heart and have lost heart, whatever I would have shared with you, all of those circumstances in our life, whatever ours are, the unmet expectations, the longings that we have, the desires, the things of this world that cause us to lose heart, all of those things are all things we can't control. We can't control any of those things. And so all of those things require us to die to self. That's the only thing we can do, because there's nothing we can do. We can't meet those. We can't cause the effect of those to come. We try, but we can't do that. And it requires a dying to self. And dying is painful. Dying hurts. And so oftentimes we run from it or we hide. That's what I usually do. I'm pretty good at hiding. I try to hide from it. That's what I do. But we have this promise of resurrection in Jesus. His word tells us that. His life showed us that. And the lives of each of us, each other, we're showing each other that resurrection all the time, because that's the power of Jesus in our lives. And dying has to happen first. But we have this promise of resurrection. And when the resurrection comes, life comes. And life looks like this fullness of heart. That's what life looks like, a fullness of heart. And a life lived with a full heart is one that we described at the beginning. It's like the opposite. The life lived with a fullness of heart looks like one that's lived out of our passions. It looks like a joy-filled life. Not necessarily happiness, but a joy-filled life. It looks like a life lived with a desire to love boldly, to love big, to live boldly, to serve, to do, to care, to be you the way God made you, including being okay with your flaws and your shortcomings. Jesus gave us life, and he gave it to us abundantly. And that's that fullness of life, I believe. That's what he's describing to us. And I think that when we read on, even in, if I read down a little further in verse 16, So it says, therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we're wasting away, yet inwardly we're being renewed day by day. There's the description of it there again. And it says we're being renewed inwardly day by day. And we do so much to preserve ourselves, not just on the outside as we're aging, but we all do that on the physical. But we do so much self-preservation for the inside, to create for our own selves that fullness of life. We're always working so hard to make sure that we don't lose heart and to maintain it for ourselves. But then there's that word, that beautiful word, therefore, that beckons us to Jesus. Where is he? Come deeper in the word to find him, is what that word is telling us. But therefore, come find Jesus. We don't have to maintain our hearts. And here's some really good news for you, and I hope this is encouraging to you, because for all the reasons we don't have to lose heart, for all the reasons we don't have to give up, for all the reasons we don't have to throw in the towel, not one of them have to do with me, and not one of them have to do with you. It's all Jesus. It's not our perseverance to maintain and to not lose heart. It's not our willpower. It's not our might or our drive or even our abilities or even our gifts to not lose heart. It isn't about us. It's about Jesus, the one who resurrects our hearts. And he does it over and over because it just told us that. Outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we're being renewed day by day. He's doing this. He's resurrecting us day by day. You know, in Matthew, I think is it Matthew 9 or Matthew 10? I'm not sure, but in the book of Matthew, it says, whoever loses their life shall find it. It's like, there it is, that fullness of life, that fullness of heart, that abundant life that he wants us to live out of. And he's doing this all because he loves us, because that's why he came, and it's his resurrection. And so when I look back again, kind of over this last month, as I really kind of looked at this verse and where Jesus has called me deeper in this verse, and it's so beautiful to me because, again, it says 14 talks about this resurrection, which makes it okay that we've lost heart, okay, because it isn't the end. It isn't even the end for that very day where we've lost heart, because he's making all things new, and he's making beauty from the ashes. But verse 15, and all of this is for our benefit. So where that dying to self is painful, it actually is for our good because of the beauty that will come in his timing. And it says beyond that in verse 15, all this is for your benefit, so that the grace that is reaching more and more people may cause thanksgiving to overflow to the glory of God. So all this is for our benefit, so that the grace that is reaching, so that we can feel his love, so that we experience his grace, because that grace is reaching. More and more people may cause thanksgiving, because we have become very thankful for what his love can do when we experience that love and that grace, and we experience that resurrection. Because where we've had death and where there's been resurrection is where we've known him and where we're thankful. It's where we can see him in our story. And it just changes everything into a thankfulness for him. And it says, causes thanksgiving to overflow to the glory of God. And really, when we live our lives out of that fullness of heart that just comes, it does bring God glory, because there's no more masks and there's no more hiding. And we're able to live this fullness of life the way he created us to be, each of us unique with our own unique gifts and abilities, and this ability to just be ourselves. And most of all, it allows us to love. And in loving others, we love because he first loved us. So we are able to love like him. So I think that word therefore is just a beautiful word, because the word therefore, this simple word, caused me to go back and say, where are you, Jesus? Why do I not have to lose heart? Because I've already lost it. And why was that okay? Because Jesus resurrects our hearts and he holds them. So I hope that that's encouraging to you today. I hope that wasn't too confusing. And next time you come across the word therefore in the Bible, maybe you'll do what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a red heart around that word therefore, and I'm going to spend time there looking for Jesus. I know he'll reveal himself to me like he does. He does to all of us. Oh, and I have a quote. I actually wrote down a quote. I was going to share it with you guys. I found a quote on a Facebook page. Dan Allender is an author that I really like, and he has a Facebook page. I think it's called the Allender Center. That's his last name. And they write a lot of blogs on there that are really good. His wife, Becky Allender, had written a blog. This has to be at least 8 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. She'd written a blog on like suffering in life and pain. They have some really good ones, so I don't have the title of it exactly where this one came from. But if you went back and read either hers or his, you'll be blessed, because they're really good blogs and articles that they write on there. So this verse or this little quote came from her, and I don't know if this encourages you, but I thought this was a really beautiful verse. Oh, it's not on this page. Hang on, I have it right here. Okay, yes. All right. Okay, so this is Becky Allender, and she says, "If you only knew now a small portion of what you will one day know, you'd hold your suffering with far more exquisite kindness and awe." And I just thought that was really beautiful. And it's all because he's renewing us inwardly day by day. So I hope you all have a really good weekend this week, and I'll see you on Sunday at Nature Coast Church if you go there, and if not, you'll be able to watch services on here online live. And have a wonderful week. Thank you.